Namaste. Welcome, sacred sisters and any sacred brothers as well. In this short video, I'm really excited to share with you a couple of things. Firstly, my website, which I'm really excited to be launching just recently, this morning actually at 10:10. It has been a very long birth process. When I originally was working with my friend Michelle of Ready, Aim, Succeed, who I highly recommend if you are looking to have a business website, things were birthing around the same time, and shortly after I decided to renew my website and add my new services, that's when I was introduced to belief repatterning. So it all sort of started morphing around the same time. Anyway, I did notice the last few months that I kept coming up against this, I'm calling it perfectionism, that I wasn't able to launch it. So my belief repatterning helped me to shift perfectionism to in process so that I could launch my website and take that next step forward. So if you have anything in your life that you are maybe not moving forward because you're stuck in perfectionism, needing it to be perfect, and of course a website, a business is always growing, I highly recommend you stay tuned and listen to the rest of my video here, and I am going to lead you through a very brief, condensed belief repatterning, shifting perfectionism to in process. And belief repatterning was developed by Suze Casey. I am very blessed. She is the author and founder of belief repatterning, and she is also my coach, mentor, and friend. So today we're going to shift perfectionism to in process. There's nothing wrong with anything on this, what I'm calling the downside, perfectionism, grief, sadness, anger. There's nothing wrong with any of those. They're human, they're part of our humanity. However, they drain us, and if we hang out there too long, they don't serve us. And that perfectionism, I was hanging out there way too long regarding my website for the last little while. But sometimes we get stuck in that and we need support, and my belief repatterning has helped awesome to be able to notice when there's something that's draining that I don't want and moving towards something that we do want. So we look to the other side, we acknowledge the perfectionism. We don't ignore it or deny it or try to pretend it's not there. We just look toward what would we rather feel? What is it pointing me towards that is more uplifting? And in this case, in process was the one that resonated with me the most. And if you have another word, feel free to use that one. I love looking up definitions of words. I find that they deepen my knowing and they allow the mind to kind of make sense and wrap around it. So process, a systematic series of actions directed to some end. A continuous action, hence the word continuous, operation or series of changes taking place in a definite manner. The action of going forward or on. The condition of being carried on, course or lapse as of time. Synonyms: action, movement, practice, progress, way, growth. So belief repatterning, we begin with forgiveness. I invite you to make sure you're hydrated, you've had some water, take a breath in between each statement. I encourage you to repeat it in the space that I leave you, and that allows integration and allows the shifting to take place. So the first stage is acknowledgement. We are acknowledging the elephant in the living room. We're not ignoring it. I forgive myself for believing that I need to be perfect and stay in this state of perfectionism. Gratitude, we can sprinkle it throughout. It helps us to shift to the upside, to a more positive place. I like to put it here today. I am so grateful for that perfectionism because it is allowing me to move toward allowing myself to be in process. Permission. I give myself permission to let go of perfectionism and move toward being in process. Choice. I can choose to focus on needing to be perfect, or I can choose to allow myself to be in process. I can't do both. Which one do you want to choose? I choose to expand in allowing myself to be in process, which is what allowed me to go to the next stage, which is freedom. Try it on. I am free to expand in allowing myself to be in process when and this was last night when I created this, when I launched my website at 10:10 this morning. So something that you could try on, that you could do, and you're going to do it anyway, and it could be a kind of in process. Many things that we do are not complete right away. There's stages and a process to go through. And then something this week. So I am free this week to be in process when I continue to use belief repatterning to clear the space in my cabin. And we already did that one, but you can think of one maybe for the week. Another one if you would like. So I'm free to allow myself to be in process, or today, when well, it could be simple as when I eat my supper. I like to eat one thing at a time on my plate. It's a process for me. You might have your own process. So I like to start with my salad and then eat the next thing on the plate. I don't like to mix my flavors. It's a process. So pick something. Have fun with it. Affirmation. Affirmation, normally people use affirmation when you want something and you're trying to affirm something that's not true yet. Unfortunately, that kind of affirmation often doesn't work. And I know because I've used it in the past where I've repeated the same thing. I am wealthy, healthy, over and over, all these ones. And my mind would go, BS, that's not true. And I would repeat them hundreds of times. I was told to repeat them day in, day out. And it affirmed what I felt, which was the contrary. So affirmation, I love the way Susie uses it. You're affirming something you already know to be true. So you're drawing on the past, and what that does is it builds a neural pathway in your mind so that you have a stronger pathway to go, and your mind will then start to go there. When you get in perfectionism, your mind will go, oh, let's just be in process. It'll take you there. So I know what it feels like to allow myself to be in process. It happened when my first home was being built, and I was enjoying looking as they built different parts of the house and a little art niche and enjoying the process of it. I've experienced in process. It happened when I completed my master's in university and my project for my master's. It was definitely a process. It was in process for a long time, many years. And yeah, it was good I let go of perfectionism. At the end, it was like I wanted to just complete my project, and I did, and it was awesome. So think of something where you've already experienced that was in process, and you can fill in the blank for yourself. Surrender is when you claim this as who you are. And if that's not completely true, you can say it is who you are becoming or moving toward. I am in process. I am an work in progress in process, and I love it. Or I'm allowing in process in my life, and I love it. Being in process allows me to be who I really am, or allows me to be more of who I really am. So I trust that will shed some light on perfectionism for you, and allow you to move toward what you would rather have, which is in process. So this week, I encourage you to play within process and look at areas of your life where you can be compassionate with yourself and recognize that you're in process, and honor when you're in process. I'm Vireo. I'm a belief specialist with Belief Repatterning. It was my honor and pleasure to serve you here today. And stay tuned. Next week, I will bring you a new Belief Repatterning. I love you. Namaste. Blessings, my friends.